One. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to watch us play again. This is Downtime Encounters. We are playing episode 10, which is presently untitled. It doesn't get a title until I finally remember to post it on YouTube 5 years after we've played. Last time, I think we almost died, but this time we're alive. So thanks for joining to watch us be dumbasses once again. Nathaniel?
Great recap. I didn't even have to, roll. You just went for it. Yeah. That's basically what happened. They fought some skeletons. They're in a new place, the city of Titania, as they were teleported there.
You didn't want to mention who summoned the skeletons?
Oh, yeah, the goddess of death and destruction.
Yeah.
Right.
Just casually.
And now,
it's not like she's bad.
We are just back there. You are in this, what seems to be a not dilapidated home, but a home that has not been used for some time, it seems like. Elabella had departed, as she seems to think that she needs to do something else relatively soon right now. Just kind of jumped out with Urjar in charge of making sure that Let doesn't die, basically. And that's where we left off. So what would you all like to do?
Before we get started, I would like to point out that Madison's friends have joined us, and we have a whole 6 viewers, which is way more than we normally have. So, hi, Madison's friends.
Hi, guys.
Just needed to make her sweat a little bit before we get started. Have to nerf her somehow.
Because I'm not anxious enough on my own.
Is it ever D&D if one person isn't sweating?
Exactly.
Well, you guys, what would you like to do?
I can't remember what's happening. Are we out of combat? Yes.
We are.
Yes, because we're in Titania now.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's the possibility of following the interesting lady?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
she teleported out.
She's fully gone, yeah.
She used the spell specifically teleport and left.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yep.
Guess that's a 0% chance of following. Somebody's suddenly used to having a rogue in the party.
Well, I don't think we could stay here, so...
Is there anything of use in this building?
Sylvia, do you know anything about this city? I mean, you're kind of our city person.
What do I need to roll, DM?
That would be history. I'll have you roll investigation, Kai, to represent just kind of looking around and see if there's anything relevant here.
Dang. 22.
So with your history check, you know that Titania is the religious center of the Church of Creation and has been for a long time. With the foundation of Lux, it was sort of moved out there. Some of the authority figures, like the speaker, were moved there, and a few other important figures. But of course, with the destruction of that city, everyone's just kind of, you would most likely surmise, have just moved back here like it has always been. It's an extremely old city from thousands of years. From what you hear and understand, much of the architecture isn't modern in any way. It's a very old city. Other than that, it's steeped in religious history. So there's just lots of things that go on here that you may not have specifically studied, but it's old.
I'm assuming the speaker and the Grand Herald are usually in Titania.
Yes. Typically you can kind of label 3 specific, prominent religious figures within the Church of Creation. There is of course, the speaker, who's the religious head. The Grand Herald is the day-to-day operations person, right? And she has her heralds beneath her. They kind of have that branch, and that's, at one point they had a portion of them that were in Lux and moved back, most likely. Then they also have an oracle within the city that has just always been here. she doesn't really have any different branch, just more of like a limb from it, but she's a prominent individual that is also here.
Oh, Fernmother really thought that was interesting.
Well, it seems relevant to potentially tell the Grand Herald that Valdara just tried to kill us, leaving out a few details.
To also add for Kai with your 20 investigation of the building, you look around, it's very much as if I would say medieval middle class, you want to call it, like, house. It has 2 floors. Most of it's wooden, but the outer parts of it are made of stone. It's most of it is barren, but not from furnitures. So, like, if you open any drawers, cabinets, and things, there's nothing in them. But there's lots of different furniture. It's just covered with white blankets, sheets, as in, like, most likely to cover the dust and dirt. So then when you remove it, you can have it in use without having to clean anything. That's like it with most of the stuff in the building. It's a 1-bedroom, basically, house. It does not look like it's been used for some time. Even with the sheets that are around, there is plenty of cobwebs, things like that. Kind of dusty.
Kai is a badass, but if a spider calls out at her, she's gonna scream. Tossing that out there.
I would like to liberate one of those sheets for myself.
Pretty easy to do.
The whole sheet?
Yep, I just grab it up.
Gonna trail behind you, like...
You know,
like
you look away for a minute and suddenly the sheet is gone.
Do we see this happen? Are you being
I don't know.
sneaky about
It's
it?
up to her.
I don't think they're being super sneaky. She's not being super sneaky about it. I mean, if somebody's paying attention to the 3-foot-tall bird thing, you know, you might see the flash of a door opening and the sheet disappearing in it, and then it closes.
I lean over to Let and I say, didn't the bird try to take your cloak earlier?
Yeah, she did.
So, do we know why?
I don't know. They're not that special anyways. They're just dirty, stinky basically old rags, kind of, because Tenzin didn't even give me a fresh pair for one thing, and I sweat on like an hourly basis. So I don't know why she would want them. They stink.
You know, if you would bathe, that would help.
I'll start bathing when I need to. You mind your own business.
You need to.
That being said, the pockets are also lined with like bird bones and viscera, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's that too.
I'm saving them in case somebody wants to buy them.
You're gross. Just that's all I have.
I'm economical.
Nobody wants your old disgusting bird bones, Let.
You guys don't know anything. They're treasures, and somebody's gonna buy them at some point.
Well, if there's nothing else worth grabbing in the house, I think I'll go outside and find other stuff to grab.
Well, we certainly can't stay here, so we definitely need
I
to
don't
find
say
another
that. I
lodging.
just go.
I was gonna say I'm with Sylvia. I think we need to skedaddle our way onto the church. I'm not happy about it though. Orfrak wants to have words with Ethios.
About what specifically?
Why, if Valdara can come down and manifest in a village miles and miles away from where she actually is, why couldn't he come down and save me from getting killed by a goat man?
That's fair.
Good question.
He's not on the mortal plane. Also, please don't get mad at my boss's boss. Says Fern from the ether.
I was gonna say that you're not Fern anymore.
I'm still adjusting, okay?
You're not wearing white. You can't be Fern's ghost today. Woo!
Anyways.
So Ku, you're the first one to leave. As you open the door, you come out into somewhat kind of reminiscent of Lux, whether or not you may have been there before, but the party certainly has. And it just kind of has like a dead like little yard, like a 5x5 little yard square out in front of it, and like a little dividing wall, and in the distance you can see a group of kids who are like watching the house, and then they all point and then they run away. As the rest of the party comes out.
They're running. Let takes great offense and goes, "Hey, you're not too great looking either."
Does running away mean that you're ugly in the monk culture?
I guess. At least in Let's eyes.
Let, I think they just are shocked to see anybody coming out of this house that's obviously been abandoned for a while.
Oh, I thought they were just being
No
mean
need to-
because I don't have hair.
I mean, that could be it too.
That is a true statement, but many people have seen you without hair and have not remarked either in the positive or negative. So,
Fair.
All right, let's go find the Grand Herald or the speaker.
Where do you
Way to
go?
go.
as we
I'm
walk,
assuming there's like a main church of the city. Just assuming it's built like medieval cities.
So this one has you are what appears to be a like a lower part of town, somewhat poorer, moderately maintained. You can definitely see something somewhat further in, as it is kind of built into the mountainside, along with some giant statues that border the edges of it. And of course the tower that is in the far distance as well.
Oh, of course.
I'm just saying you're just going to go like deeper into this place is basically what you're going to do. Is that correct?
Truthfully, I wasn't paying enough attention when we first started playing, so I don't really know what's happening. So I'm fine with whatever the party wants to do.
And same.
right now we're walking through town. All right. Here's Gloom Portal. Here's my question for Nathaniel. Here's Gloom Portal in terms of development. Here's Lux in terms of development. Where does Titania sit?
So Lux was like high level development, like up here.
Okay.
Gloom Portal was like kind of like here. Titania's about here.
Okay.
Does it have a generally better than good store?
I mean, every place.
We're
is
not
generally better
going
than the
there
store.
yet.
I mean,
Undoubtedly.
We don't
We're not
have to
going
go
yet.
there, Piper. I just wanted to know if they have one.
There was probably a generally better than good store in Maple Grove, and it sold maple flavored candy.
Probably.
Probably.
Was.
And now it's gone, and the shop owner dead.
candy flavor doesn't exist anymore.
Tragic.
What about the one in Lux?
Lux
the main
doesn't
one with
exist
all the
either,
It
flavors.
Piper.
doesn't exist either.
Also, Maple Grove sold the limited edition magic maple flavored candies that come from the tree.
That are now collector's items, for they will never exist again.
If that's
Correct.
not canon, I'm deciding it is.
If it's not canon, I'm calling the author.
Anyways, we would like to go further into the city to find wherever the main church is.
You think there'll be birds there?
Probably, but you could refrain from catching and killing them for one day in your life.
Kill them. I love them until they go to sleep.
I was gonna speak in character, but not anymore. Oh god.
They just get tired in my pocket. That's all. They're not dead. That's why they hold value.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh.
So
No,
I'll keep us on track here.
I want to go up to Let's Side and ask birds.
Yeah, I collect birds. And then I try to sell them.
Why?
Currency.
Currency?
Yeah. If I sell birds, then of course I'm going to have plenty of money to buy as many candies as I want. It's common sense.
Of course.
Mm.
How much of capitalism do the Varios understand?
they're on a pure barter system.
That's what I figured.
Which is still
Yeah, currency
technically
isn't a thing.
capitalistic.
Yeah.
Nothing, because capitalism is... Never mind. This is not that stream.
We'll just fall back into the group pondering what the hell currency is.
And don't ask Let, because they can't explain. They have a very childlike understanding of what money is.
Clearly, because I think birds are the way to go.
So, we're going to continue forward. One thing that I think most of you are relatively perceptive enough to kind of notice this. There aren't any like city guards in terms of how they traditionally are. They're all paladins. You get the impression there isn't a city government. It's just the church.
Of course.
It gets pretty evident the more you go in.
Just a little bit.
And it isn't long until you reach what appears to be kind of like almost like an acropolis in terms of what's there. You got your large like cathedral-like structure along with a lot of other smaller structures around it, and there's kind of like walled-off area barred by a massive door, like a bronze-esque door. When you approach, there are some paladins there, and they come up to you and ask, as you approach, "All right, what can we do for you?"
Is the Grand Herald here?
Maybe. I don't know her schedule. She does have an office here.
I tug at Sylvia's cloak. They don't know who we are, so they're probably not going to tell us, even if they do know.
I'm sorry, but I have proof that I am nobility if they don't know who we are from the tournament, so I would think that would more than do the trick.
All right. And he holds out his hand, waiting for whatever proof that you're going to provide.
I'll hand it to him and then also explain, the Grand Herald has given us an important mission, so I think she would be most displeased if we were not shown to her office.
Looks it over. Doesn't see anything wrong with it. Hands it back to you. All right. We can open the door for you. And they go over there and they push it open. Welcome inside. Do not bother any of the clergy or priests. They're hard at work and whatnot. I would head to the cathedral itself, and there should be some attendants there who can help you.
I ask one of them if there's an office or like an area for the Sage of Azaman.
He seems like he's processing something, and he goes, "I don't know. I'm not familiar with him."
Is there like a directory, or I mean, I guess my question might be more easily answered if you tell me, how does this area work? I mean, does each sage, saint, and lower demigod get like a cubicle farm? Do they get a temple? Do they just have like a post that they meet around? Like,
please let it be cubicles, please.
Obviously, it's very
as you're explaining this, his buddy goes up to him, whispers something in his ear, and he goes like, okay. And then he says, well, you can talk to the attendants. They'll be able to help you. There is more of a underground system underneath the cathedral that most of the clergy tends to work in their respective areas. Most of the worship that is done here is to Ethios and specifically his saints. Any sages are usually spread about throughout the continent.
Can you point me to an attendant?
Yes, they are at the cathedral entrance if you go there.
Thanks, boss. I pat him on the shoulder.
And he's like, "Oh, enjoy your stay." And then they close the doors as you leave.
And like pat him on the shoulder as they pass to him and be like, "Thanks, buddy," and just keep walking behind Gorfrak real proud.
I don't think Gorfrak should be imitated for social interaction.
I also picture if Let ever understood that you like tip people for things like carrying bags or whatever, that they would just give them bones.
Oh, no.
Straight up bird bones.
Don't give Rose ideas.
Yeah, don't. That's not a good idea.
No bird bones.
So what's the inside look like, boss?
Yeah. So as you walk through basically this kind of this promenade area, there is a large engraved seal on the ground representing the Church of Creation itself. And again, people are walking to and fro. Even some what appear to be like commoners, nobles, kind of like seeming like maybe they're doing some sort of a service or talking with any one of the various people who are around. When you approach a Dragonborn attendant, she approaches and asks, "Well, what can I do for you?"
Yes, we are here to see the Grand Herald.
Do you have an appointment?
We do not. However, we have been given an important task by her, and she would be most displeased if we were not able to see her.
Do you know the nature of this?
Gorfrak's tired of this.
Because I'll have to tell someone, and then they'll give me the approval. So
I butt in. No, I butt in. I poke under Sylvia's arm. I'm like, remember, the big dragon goddess that destroyed the capital city? Well, we fought her again in Maple Grove, and we would like to talk to the Grand Herald because this is just.
Gorfrak, try not to cause more fear.
Sylvia. Gorfrak shorter than Sylvia. Sylvia. Shut up.
That's a funny change because if you know these two in real life, Piper is significantly shorter than Taylor.
With all due respect, is this a lady? A lady?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With all due respect to you, ma'am, I think this is a little out of the league of the normal everyman who probably comes in here.
That's fair.
Can we just go? Like, we won the tournament. We saved the king. We like. I almost died because of a goat man.
We? Only 3 of you guys have done this.
Hey, we have the medals from the king to prove it.
Let's gonna walk up like clanging their medals together and go, and by the way, I have the most important question. Who is Herald? And why is she grand?
We've met her before,
So, for
Dragonborn? This
Gorfrak?
Dragonborn.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage while you're doing that. Yes.
Why do we talk?
I was.
She'll turn to Let and say, "Do you mind if I take it so I can bring it to them?"
No! I got a 20 and a 6.
Doing great.
Oh man.
Can Sylvia's credentials cancel out my disadvantage so I can have the 20, please?
I'm gonna roll insight to make sure she's not lying about her intentions of what she wants to do with the medal.
27. She honestly is just trying to do her job, and she thinks that, hey, if I bring this medal to someone like her manager, maybe he'll do something about it. Like,
Let's
know what this is because she has no idea.
Let's gonna make really aggressive eye contact and lick the medal, and then take it off and hand it to her and go, "That's insurance, so that I know that it's mine when you bring it back."
She takes.
Do you know
it,
what your own saliva
that.
tastes like?
I know what it smells like. It smells like the leaf
better.
tea that I drink.
Well, I will convey this to my superior, and I will let you know.
You let Harold know and tell her I said, "What's up, lady?"
Stop talking.
She departs. What would you like to do? Yes.
Are there any tapestries around?
Oh no!
Not nearby.
No one has the mending cantrip. Please do not.
I have to add it as soon as I can, so that we don't all just have chunks cut out of our.
I mean, that was my second question. Does anybody have particularly nice clothes on around here?
like everyone has nice clothes.
Oh yeah.
Child just gonna run around and thieve clothes?
Yeah.
Just parts.
Oh.
Who is gonna run around and just collect them?
I don't know if there's like a
sleight of
priest
hand
in a
for me?
trailing robe or something. It wouldn't be that hard to sneak a piece off the bottom, right?
Yeah.
You said sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand, yeah.
I can't wait for this nat one.
Hero stealth.
That is good. I have a +9 to both of these. But that's 2 13s somehow.
Okay. So you will be able to get a piece of, we'll say, one of the clergy around there. But a paladin does spot you and points at you and goes, "Hey!" And then like a bunch of like other guys like also see like what he's looking at, and they all look at you, and they're all like slowly walking towards you.
Can I step behind a pillar and disappear?
You can.
I would like to do
Then
that.
they'll turn to the party. Who's your friend?
Bird. Don't worry about it.
You're using that term "friend" very loosely.
Yes, we just met her.
Tumor might be a more appropriate word.
Okay, Gorfrak, we don't have to be that mean.
Why is Gorfrak such a bitch? I love her.
He points at Sylvia and says, "Keep an eye on it. Don't bother any of the clergy or anyone else here, or there will be consequences." And they return back to their station.
I'll do what I can, but again, we just met her. I can't guarantee she'll listen to me.
For
I'm
argument's
sorry.
sake,
Consequences for taking pieces of a cloak? Aren't you supposed to be godly people, and that isn't the whole like God Church of Creation thing, like give up your worldly possessions in the pursuit of your faith?
I bet we could
All
argue over the
ignoring you.
definition of bother.
You're just
too.
like preaching to like no one. They're off in their own little world. As it isn't too much longer than
I'll repeat.
Can I
The
talk to
attendant
Ryan
returns and
before
says,
we talk about-
well, it seems like this is an important symbol, which is very helpful for you. She hands it back to Let to let you have your medal back.
Let's gonna taste
she
it
says-
and then put it back in their pocket.
It tastes exactly the same as before. My superior would like to speak with you first before we move to the next stage.
And who is your superior?
He is... Yes, ma'am?
Can we talk to Lionrith before we go into this interrogation?
Yes, I will say that they're just going to have you sit inside the church for a moment when they get the guy.
Okay.
And she adds like, yeah, we'll bring you in. You'll just get seated, and I'll bring. He's just a higher level of the clergy, someone who can cast spells and things. He is able to do that.
What level cleric is he? Come on, tell us. Was Fern higher than him?
I don't know. You have to find out.
Maybe we should use this opportunity to see if we can clear whatever's on Gorfrak, if she'll play nice.
She has to
I'm
stop
nice.
barking
I'm
at
just-
people first.
They're gonna fight.
I'm not barking at anybody.
Okay.
I just-
She departs. You now have a time to talk with Lionrith on your own. There's basically like no one in here other than maybe the occasional attendants talking to each other.
Okay. Gorfrak is going to say this at a very hushed level because she doesn't trust the fact that there's not somebody listening magically.
Mhm.
I'm going to like get down at his level and, like be very calm and be like, "Hey buddy, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Good. And any new developments with the powers since earlier today?"
I haven't tried anything.
Okay. Are you kind of understanding what's going on right now? Like why we're here and where, what's about to happen?
No. Not like, I mean, sort of.
Okay. You're welcome
I do know.
to ask. Okay, cool. You're welcome to ask me like what they're probably going to talk to us about and things like that. But in case they ask you questions by yourself, I just, I care about you a lot, and I don't think that you should talk about who being your, and I mouth the words. And I just, like, I don't want you to lie. I don't think you should say that part.
Hey.
Cool. High five.
Teacher's your high five.
Isn't that lying by omission?
The bird can't.
Now's not the time for an ethics debate.
Lies never hurt anyone.
Oh, do I get the chance to slip back into the group before they go somewhere else? I probably should have clarified that. Cool.
Oh, and also, Gorfrak being the mother, I tear off a little piece of my cloak. I used druid craft to make it sprout little flowers and things, and I give it to Ku to keep her busy.
Oh. Ooh. It very much works.
That's absolutely brilliant, and you should probably use that same kind of soft-headed, leveled logic for lead.
Yeah, but lead can at least take care of themselves.
Sort of.
Ku is still yet to prove themselves as competent.
Excuse you, she took out so many bad guys.
That doesn't mean you can prevent yourself from starving.
Yes, but you're even less socially competent than Gorfrak.
Starving? Who needs to eat?
Not Fern, apparently.
So, the
Hey.
Fern
Wow.
Damn.
priest does arrive. He is he follows the Saint of Trickery. And
Who?
The Saint of Trickery.
Who
Junsa.
walked in? The audio cut out for me. Who walked in?
The manager. He's here.
The higher level cleric.
Oh, okay, thanks.
He looks over everyone and asks, "All right, so you are considered heroes of the realm, if I am not mistaken. Is that correct?"
You are correct.
Yes. One with the sword?
DM question.
Woman with the sword, you're muted.
2 swords.
I'm
No,
muted.
she's
She's
not.
okay.
Are we talking like Loki, god of trickery, or like one of the more benevolent kind, like one of the Native Americans like the one escapes me, Spider, I think, who kind of an ass, but not like.
Coyote?
There we go. Thank you. Who's like playful trickery and just inconveniences you versus Loki, who kills you with his tricks.
This is more of a positive one.
Okay, continue. I was really concerned. I didn't know if I needed to be prepared. Okay, continue.
And he asks, "So, what can we help you with? I hear you want to speak with the Grand Herald. Is that right?"
Yes, it has to do with some recent developments.
Okay. Interesting.
Regarding Valdar.
I will.
Regarding Valdara.
Yes. Is there anything that would be important for me to know when I schedule your appointment in?
Town go boom.
I mean, you can tell her we had a personal run-in with her if that would be relevant and, escalate the timetable in which we'd be able to see her.
She killed hundreds of people and wiped out an entire town.
Boom.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll go let them know, and I will let you know how that goes. So, Sylvia,
another important thing. Sorry,
Yes.
Mr. Harold. We think we know like what she's after or trying to stop too. That also might be pertinent to put in the meeting notes of this wonderful bureaucratic center of power.
awesome. Okay, I'll let them know. And so Sylvia, roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Since I didn't just absolutely run over this poor man like you're frantic.
She's tired. She's like, why are we in the city? I want to leave. I want to go to the druid circles. We have a reason to go now. That's not just me. And it's just, can we leave, please?
Which is left. Okay. One more. Okay, 17. All right. This isn't too long after. And he returns. He is followed by a few different paladins, and he comes up and says, "Well, it would appear that we do have an opening for you today. I do believe, like right now. Would you like to
Most
do it?"
convenient. Of course. That is why we're here.
Wonderful. Will you please follow me, and we will we'll bring you to our kind of like sitting room that we have for such deliberations and such.
Lead the way.
And you follow him, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah. So as you go through the cathedral, he also kind of does like a mini tour in a way. The paladins that are with him are not in for it. They seem just to be like, why are you doing this? He's kind of into it. Seems pretty proud of his job. You pass a lot of stained glass of the different saints and sages. Yes?
Can I ask a meaningful question to establish rapport with the stranger?
Let's go for it.
Is there any wing of this area that's specifically focused on healing and restorative magic? Maybe even memory issues?
Yes. I actually got to pull up my notes here. Make sure I get my
DM references notes. I hope there's some tapestries.
What is with you in the tapestries?
You haven't asked.
Your thing is birds. Who can have tapestries?
It's just so specific. It's not even like, I hope there's fabric. She's like, I hope there's carpet on the wall.
So he responds with, well, certainly anything dedicated to Nasina. She's the saint of life. She has native and healing properties and the like. While we don't have a dedicated wing to her, we do have specific rooms and that are for her, and he gestures to different spots where there will be like a doorway, and above it there will be a stained glass of specifically that specific saint, and so you get the impression that each of these areas has a dedicated room to them. At the center there is a of this like long passageway that seems to divert to different aspects of this cathedral. There is a large statue of some sort of looking draconic-like creature. It is kind of like friendly looking. Like dragons can typically like have like a very fearsome imperial look. It still has that imperial look, but generally it's kind of very like not like fun. Kind of is the wrong word. Like and that's in the center. As you turn around, you head down another hallway. You pass some more of these rooms before you reach a staircase, which you go down. Down into the staircase, there is several other rooms, which seems to be the sitting room that you're wanting to reach. So the downstairs sitting room, there's other rooms and such nearby. And he says, well, I'll have you wait here. It shouldn't be too long. He pokes through his head through one of the doors, then closes it and says, yeah, I think she'll be ready here momentarily. Do you have any questions or things for me before I go?
We waiting on Herald?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm wondering if we should explain to Let that the person's name is not Harold.
Let has met her before. Whether or not
Few
they remember
times,
that
yeah.
upon seeing her, we shall see.
How has the church figured out everything that happened in Lux? Like, is that matter laid to rest, or are they still investigating things? Specifically, like, missing persons, deceased persons? Yes.
I'm not sure. I was here actually when that happened. From what I've heard, there's an official report that's been put out. I think you probably can get a statement actually if you go to one of the buildings outside in the promenade.
Well, the information that I'm interested in is probably not in the official report. I'm wondering about the whereabouts of a specific church official.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you can ask her when she arrives.
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, you're the third level of bureaucracy we've talked to today, and so I didn't know who knows what. So I'll ask Harold.
Wonderful. And the door opens as he's finishing up talking with you, and he says, "Well, I'll leave you to your conversation, and I'll be back to take you out."
Grab a tapestry.
Darn.
Good.
And once again,
okay.
We do see the two individuals once again. The speaker, Lisa. She is a little bit more. She's a different demeanor now. A little bit. She seems a little bit off than previously. And then the Grand Herald, Liliana. She is as imposing as you've always met her. And they both take a seat across from all of you, and Liliana starts. Well, how goes our task that we sent you off to do?
Well, it'd be going better if Valdara didn't make an appearance and try to kill us all.
Interesting. Okay. She's like processing that a bit.
Interesting. I feel like it's not an appropriate response.
Something like that just happened.
Yes, she completely destroyed Maple Grove.
She destroyed Maple Grove in 4 seconds flat.
3.
She is nodding along. She seems to have like things are turning in her head, and she looks to one of the paladins and says, "Can you send a team out there, or get a team together?" And he looks confused for a second, and she says, "Go along," and he just leaves, completely doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, at work.
And she looks back to you and says, "Well, that's a concern. I assume this has to deal with the aspects then."
Most likely. We are unsure if she noticed if she can sense them, and she noticed when she could no longer sense the aspect of intelligence, and then could deduce who had it. We're not sure.
Point in the conversation, Let has started reaching through the bag of holding and started pulling out aggressive numbers of candies, opening Lionrith's mouth and just putting the candies in his mouth and closing it.
I mean, he can't talk if he's eating candy, right?
Yeah. You do that. He's like, "Oh."
Yeah, you do that. Is Lionrith okay? Is he choking?
He's fine.
Hey.
Let is also eating probably too many candies all at once and going, "You know what, Harold? I kind of recognize you. Have we met before?"
Yes, we met a few weeks ago.
We met a week ago.
No. Maybe it was a few
nice
days,
to see you again, Harold.
Oh, well, my name's Liliana. It's nice to meet you.
Then why do they keep calling you Harold if that's not your name?
My title is Grand Herald.
Then Harold, I shall call you.
Biggest Herald.
Honestly, just add Grand to that, and you're gonna do great. I think. Because there are other heralds.
Can I be an instigator?
But you're the only herald I know.
I'm the best herald. There are other heralds.
Got it, best herald.
You can
Got
explain it to them several times, and they will still be asking questions.
Is Best your first name and Herald your last name then?
No.
Yes.
Got it.
This is the monastery. If this is the monastery, this would be like Tenzin, your master. This would be Liliana Grand Herald. It's her. It's what we call her.
She just told me her name is Best Herald. You really need to be respectful.
Can I be an instigator? And at this point, no, wait, change my mind. I'm not even going to ask. Kai is just kind of not raised she end of her rope, but like she's kind of decided I either have to go with the flow or lose my mind. So I also start calling her Herald.
I mean, it's her title. I mean, that's fair. Like, she's okay with it.
This is devolving so fast without Fern to absorb Let's stupidity.
So she continues from whatever topic, I don't remember, honestly.
We were talking about the aspects.
Oh, yes.
Right?
So that could be the case. She would definitely know that if they disappear off her detection, then
so she
might sense that we're recollecting them, but she would know we're doing that. I mean,
so she can detect them without the blinding cloth.
Correct. She can. Yes, blinding cloth. It's a type of fabric that allows you to hide with magic, hides magical things. I assume you would be familiar with that.
We just met Ku. We're not sure what her story is yet.
Well, I've heard they're collectors of sorts, so I find them annoying, but I don't have them on hand to distribute to you, but you can purchase them in town.
One hand is already reaching through this tiny door, shuffling around for something. I'll pull out the big white sheet. Trade?
There are traders within the city that you can get this special magic cloth from. They may trade you that sheet for the cloth.
Put the sheet back. Not freaking icon.
Are you opening a dimension door, pulling things out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure I was catching that.
No, you're interpreting that right.
You're interpreting that right.
And she goes from trying to treat a child to back to serious end of days scenario. And certainly she would know we would be collecting these. I would imagine that if you had hid one or one was visible and it no longer, that it would definitely pique your interest. I don't know personally what else there would be, and she starts thinking a bit, and she glances over at the speaker, who just kind of shrugs a bit and still keeps keeping an eye on
for somewhat lying to the speaker, but I also don't the Grand Herald, but I also don't trust her because I feel like she's gonna lock Leinrith up.
I want to ask her, so could you recommend anything to strategies or spells or equipment even to shield us from her? Because the only reason that we're here and she didn't wipe us out was one of our party members who is now nowhere to be found, strangely enough, but got us out of there quick, fast, and in a hurry. And so, I mean, we're not going to have get out of jail free cards forever, and so some help would be appreciated.
Your best bet is not have anything valuable on you relating to her in any regard. I don't think she will. She won't come after individuals typically, at least from the accounts that we are digging up. Historically, it's if she knows that you're going to use a weapon or a tool of some sort, she will attempt to stop that immediately. Luckily, we are warded enough here that she wouldn't dare set foot here, so you're completely safe within these walls.
I want to look up from my investigation of a seat cushion and look at Gorfrak and say, if don't want to be found, hide. And I'll go back to the seat cushion.
Thank you, Koo.
Valuable contribution.
Actually, I don't even know your name yet. Thank you, Bird Girl.
No, you know Koo's name. You
Okay.
introduced yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think Gorfrak is still probably calling you Bird Girl.
Rude.
Okay, that's all well and good, and I appreciate that we're warded here, but like, can Valdara sense when the aspects change owner? I mean, like, let's say we find one and it's unshrouded, do we keep it unshrouded? Like, because obviously we can't just, I don't know, maybe you can teleport us directly back once we find it, or find an aspect or something like that, but like I said, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for somebody who we don't really even consider to be trustworthy. And so, if we're going to do this 4 more times, I'd rather not die in the process.
I second that.
Urjar nods in agreement.
I forgot Urjar was with us.
I just pointing that out that he's still there listening to all of this. And
Gorfrak said we don't trust Elbella in front of him. That's great.
I think that's fair,
He
though.
knows
We've
that.
only been traveling with her for 3 days. She doesn't
That's
trust
true.
us.
That's true.
We don't trust
Yeah.
them. That's the social norm.
okay, so she replies with, "Well, I don't know in particular. I would imagine that if it hasn't moved and has continued not to move from its location, then she likely won't bother with it.
So we just leave them where we find them?
Then it will likely, she will consider that the norm for whatever it is doing.
We can't leave them where we find them. That's not an option.
I know,
They
that's
all
a-
have.
But I think what Liliana is saying is that we need to leave them in their current state of existence and find a way to transport them to the church if we want to remain hidden.
Yes,
Because
she'll be able to detect you otherwise. You might have some time before she becomes completely aware that maybe you've taken one or one of our groups has. But when she does, I bet she will come after you, which probably was
And
what
I imagine
happened.
a blind
We had
robot.
about 12 hours the last time.
Since I would imagine if you since you gave us the aspect of wisdom, that when it disappeared, and then a few days later, another one disappeared, if I'm understanding correctly, then that piqued your interest. And that probably was just the closest place to go.
Speaking of piquing her interest, she knew me, and she knew Sylvia.
Or at least she knew that an ancestor of mine had been involved with her in the past. At least that's what she implied.
And so, I don't know if you know, or if there might be a hall of records that the church keeps that may be a little bit less redacted than the one in Lux, that we could maybe get some information on. But if you're going to use us as your hand in this mission, I think we're entitled to the church's extent of resources.
I agree.
Well, I think this is an easy question. For one, any people who are related to Gaia or Ethios, she'll speak to them as if she's speaking directly to those deities. So she's probably speaking to you as if she's speaking to Gaia.
Okay, but Sylvia's family is not all that religious.
Yes, I think this just means you need to look back at your family history. I believe it is maybe your grandfather, great-grandfather. He was a great ally during the Creation War.
Cool.
I think it's Mel something. I haven't looked that up. I think it's Melendrock. I don't remember.
Wait, the tome. I have
It
so
is a
many
familiar
questions
name.
now.
Oh.
I will
That's
do
smart,
some digging,
Daniel.
and luckily I will be returning home for my sister's funeral, and I can consult my family as well.
Yes, I would imagine your father has some stories about him, but he was around during that time, and he knew the Hero King himself. So I would imagine that they had some discussions, and that's how she's aware of you.
Interesting that I have never been told this before.
I mean, it's not something that's like actively discussed, really. I mean,
Sure, but the creation war in the eyes of the elves is not as long ago as it is to the eyes of humans.
Yeah, and it was honestly very short. I mean, it was over. I would imagine for elves a brief span of time. Anyway, he was an ally. I'm not sure why your father may not have discussed it with you, but he may have had his reasons.
It's because he's a dick.
Okay,
Sorry,
Fern.
we're out of character.
Sylvia's father has been nothing but kind to us. He gave
Right.
all of us, including you, a ring.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who's never met this man before?
Yeah, Kuda.
Well, I'm talking to Madison because Madison was the one responding right there. Speaking of funerals, you may notice that our green friend is not with us. I know you were close with Dimitri with the speaker selection process. Can I press you about some of that? I mean, I know that's not why we met with you, but I don't know when I'm going to see you again. I might die because you're kind of stonewalling us here, but we'll see.
Good God. At this point in the conversation, Let has oozed out of their chair due to boredom and the fact that you've just brought up their practically deceased best friend and is now eating candies while lying on the floor and slightly crying.
I just picture like the depression child just like splayed on the floor eating.
Pretty much. Not caring that other people are looking.
Yeah.
Let is a toddler with too much power.
Let is a toddler with far too much agency, yes.
Well, I can answer a few things, but the part of it is church-related matters, and some of it's also personal. So, what would you like to know?
I mean, I don't want to speak for Fern with her not here, but I kind of feel like we were, aside from Dimitri, the closest thing to a family she had. Speaking of Dimitri, last time we saw him was the night of the siege, fighting some woman that we have been led to believe would have immediately killed all of us, and he
very powerful spellcaster.
And so, has he been found? Is this that church matter you were just saying and you can't tell us? I mean,
don't forget, Sylvia saw Dimitri not long before we departed the city. Maybe.
Oh my gosh! Right.
Maybe.
I don't know. We know that event happened, and that's all we know.
But his body was not found or anything like that?
We haven't found anything like that. We found evidence of a conflict, but neither one of them.
I saw him briefly before we left the city. Like, I caught a glimpse of him, I swear. But none of Fern's sending messages were successful to him.
I don't know. I can say that the person he was finding is, well, not fighting, is a master of deception.
Who is she?
We don't know.
We also saw her, I don't know if you've heard of this account, but we also saw her when we received a message to go to a theater, and she, after these weird creatures appeared and we had fled the scene, she came and was inspecting the scene. That was the first time I ever saw her.
Interesting. We did hear something like that, but we didn't know it was your specific group. At least I was not told.
I know something out of character that I don't know in character.
I would say that we're not really sure who this person is, but we do know that they have multiple identities and
I know who it is.
Whatnot.
Knowing that she is a master of deception certainly will keep us more on our toes. What if it's Albella?
Yes.
I think it's Ogmarez.
Who?
A name from my board connected one of the servants of Valdara, much like Daria was. A master shape changer and deceiver.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know that in character.
Last
What
question.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Albella seems to have something weird going on, so what if she's somehow connected to that? I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Her door said deceiver. Sorry.
Oh,
Right.
shit!
Right. Anyways, but we don't know that in character. Moving on.
Last question about Fern, and this is a left field long shot. Does the church have any dealings with the spirit realm?
No, not normally. At least none that I'm aware of. We might have a division that has some research on it, but that's not something that we delve into.
Why?
Okay.
Spirit realm? I'm gonna look at Gorfrat because, like, I'm assuming that Ku has been there and knows that it's
Yeah, you've probably been there once or twice, yeah.
Okay.
dangerous.
Yeah. I look at Ku and I said, yes, very dangerous.
Our friend that you haven't met, we lost her, at least temporarily, due to the spirit realm.
Go find her?
We'd like to.
She's not lost. She's just...
She's frozen, and we have to save her. Led is like spitting candies out of their mouth as they're yelling this. And it's
Tears
important and it needs
flowing
to
from
happen.
I do a weird, awkward, like, lean down and I pat Led on the forehead because they're laying on their back on the ground. And I say, I know, we all miss her. We're working on it, but we've got a lot of hot pokers in the fire right now that we're trying to figure out.
Confusion.
Okay. Has the church gotten any more leads about aspects since the last time we talked? I mean,
It's been only a few days.
I know, but I mean, I kind of figured that since this became our full tilt mission, maybe you'd put a little bit more time into it like we have.
Yeah, we've sent other people to look.
Okay, well...
You're like... Yeah.
Can you send us with a sending stone or something so you can keep us in the loop? Because right now, I mean, our only lead is either far south or far east.
Well, if you show that you are capable of finding one and returning it to us, we can certainly provide you with rewards and so forth to do that.
I can I try to deceptively nudge Sylvia? Because I'm pissed off.
It'll be
right
stealth.
Why are you pissed?
I hate Gorfrak hates the church. Ever since we stepped foot in Lux and they laughed at her, she wants to burn it to the ground.
Yeah, I
I'm glad
mean,
you
fair.
didn't let
Sylvia
that
is also
go
like,
over.
I don't want to give you this fucking precious aspect. I want to keep it in case I need to use it against Valdar.
What'd you roll? Oh! That's
Okay,
a nat
all right.
20.
That's the worst
Cool.
Black 20 ever.
Honestly, she doesn't. You secretly nudge her.
That was so low stakes for such a good roll.
Well, I have such low. I have a +0 to anything dex, and so I was worried I was going to roll like a 5. I was going to fall out of my chair, and she's going to be like, "What the fuck?" Oh, I wrote it. I did it. I'm the one. It wasn't me today.
We are an hour in, which is also this the MC's gentle reminder to the DM who does not have ADHD that we need a break soon. Before I'm getting antsy
I've
and
been
I
waiting for
can't
this
stay here much
conversation to
longer.
finish, and it's been taking a lot longer than I thought.
All right, everyone, wrap it up because I have to go to the
Once
bathroom.
the conversation's done, we go to break.
Keeping it real.
Was that an Avery comment or a Let comment?
It was both. Both.
Almost
What is
certainly
also
both.
impatient.
Character meets player.
Perpetually.
The nudge happens.
I
What?
guess, unless you
That's
have
a
anything
little-
else to tell us, Liliana. We have a friend who's a paladin. Can we take her?
Part of it.
We're right now in a state of emergency. She has her own assignment, from what I understand. So, at the moment, probably not.
You're killing me here, Smalls.
Looks like you already have a
I'm
companion with you already.
I look at Urjar and I'm like, yep. Uh-huh.
She
Sure.
does like, mm-hmm.
Sit straight up and go, I don't think she counts as a companion. She's an obnoxious person, and I don't want her to follow us, and I don't want her around us, and I wish she'd fall down a hill and go to sleep like the birds.
We're talking about Urjar.
Same difference.
Him too.
All right. Well, your time is valuable considering we had to go through 3 levels of underlings to get to you. So I guess have a nice day.
That was the least sincere "have a nice day" I have ever heard.
I mean, at least
Boom.
it didn't say see you next Tuesday. You know.
She glances over at the speaker, who has been just quietly watching.
Oh,
Everything.
Lisa's in there.
Yeah, she's been here the entire time.
I slide Lisa a note to meet me at the most local bar, like the closest bar.
Oh no,
Don't
this
hit on
birth
women
rush.
younger
I'm
than
not
you.
trying to hit on her. I want to talk to her because we're cool with her. We knew her before
True.
she was cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you roll insight?
Oh, please. I'm so curious what's her deal. I couldn't justify Koo rolling insight. I don't think Koo cares. Except for if she's wearing pretty fancy robes. How fancy are the robes? Holy shit.
The best. So 25. You get a distinct impression that in the matter of days since you've seen her, her demeanor, typically she's somewhat meek. She is not very confident. That's completely changed now. And usually the Herald has been one kind of like being the decisive force in the room. You get the impression that has turned now.
Oh shit. She must have had
Have
to
we
grow
been
up.
talking to the wrong person this whole time? Should we have been directing our questions
With
to
an
Lisa?
insight of 25, you get the impression that this conversation was done by the decision of the speaker, not by her.
So we only got a visit because of Lisa.
Because of Lisa. And
I really want her to come and talk to us at the bar because I want to check in with her. Not even for like information. I just want to see how our girl is doing.
But does she have time?
I just want 20 minutes and a double whiskey straight up. That's it.
well, we'll conclude with, and we'll go to break here in a second. With she kind of looks over to the speaker, and they kind of have this eye exchange for a moment, trying to, with the inside of a 25, you can kind of determine she's trying to see, are we done? And then she basically kind of stands up, Liliana, and says, well, it was good to speak with everyone. If you have any news or insights for us, let us know, and we will provide whatever resources at your disposal once we know that you're able to actually complete the job. And that's what we'll head to break.
One aspect is all you need to assume that we can collect the rest.
Well, one was already on you, and I do believe Dimitri probably gave that to you.
No, I'm talking about all we have to do is actually retrieve one ourselves, and that's all you need to prove that we can do the rest.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you do that, you get our resources at your disposal. Anyway, we'll go to break.
Girl,
Yeah.
You have all a break to think about it, Piper.
Yeah,
Sending us to break. We will be back in a few minutes, viewers. Thank you. Okay, we're back from break. Freshly pottied, freshly ready to keep playing. Thanks for still viewing. Yeah, I did have to say it like that.
I mean, speak for yourself. Piper.
Yeah, speak for yourself. I identify as a large toddler. Thank you.
Okay, so the conversation is about to end. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, it turns out we do actually have an aspect. And I'm going to reveal the aspect of intelligence. I'm making it very clear that I am showing her. I am not extending it to her.
Huh.
I want the cloth. I want it.
Keep your grubby fucking hands off.
I think this enters a everyone's kind of honestly very much a standoff of
we have the thing.
She nods and says, well, we would like it, as it is only one of the few things that we can do to actually defeat her. Nothing else can defeat her other than the sword, which we cannot access the sword anymore.
I am aware, and I have every intention of giving it to you along with the rest of them. However, I would like to keep it for now as a bit of insurance, since it can increase my spellcasting abilities should worse come to worse.
What is it?
The aspect of
intelligence.
The Mind Stone.
Speaking as the least intelligent member of this party, you might want to leave it with us, or it's going to greatly reduce our chances.
I really think that Sylvia and Gorfrak both just snapped to let, and we're like, "It's the most intelligent thing you've ever said."
Right. It's like weird, proud parent moment of, I actually said something worthwhile.
And I think Gorfrak in the back of her head is thinking wait, is Let actually paying attention and understanding everything and just choosing ignorance?
Well, probably. She will jump in and say, I certainly understand that you do believe that it will assist you in your combat capabilities. I fully get that. But Valdara does not act alone, and you are holding a piece that if she were to take one of them, she wins. It's you can't do it with just 5. If she gets one of them, it's done. You can't succeed.
Lean forward and say, with all due respect, Herald, I do think genuinely that if you take this, it's going to guarantee her success, and frankly, I do think you should leave it in our hands, though it is a great risk.
Yeah, Herald.
Who's Herald?
He exhales out and she goes, well, I understand that you do believe this magical item is a precious commodity for you adventurers. But you know what's also a precious commodity that we also happen to control? Diamonds. And you don't get access to diamonds.
You're not doing yourself any favors by laying out just how bureaucratic the church is, honey.
I'm just saying that if your friend dies, then you can't bring him back.
I whisper to Sylvia, I can bring us back with diamonds.
Cloth.
Yes, but we can also...
Fern taught me a trick or two before she took the big sleep.
Oh my lands.
She's not asleep, she's fully awake. For her, nothing has passed.
Living her eternal
I'll wake up
fame.
in a post-apocalyptic wasteland with you guys looking all haggard and be like, wow, this sucks.
Yeah.
Or the end of the universe as you know it when magic itself expires.
Lisa, what do you think?
Ooh, good call.
Okay.
Is
What would she think?
You made the DM stutter.
Not really a stutter. It's more of like a...
Forgets the gold star.
Give me a second here. Talk amongst yourselves.
The question is, how high do I have to roll to steal the blinding cloth while everybody is distracted with this argument?
No.
I think it's in her hand.
I
Like,
know.
I think she like opened it and it's like in her hand with the thing in
I
it.
still want to try.
Like I don't think there is a world where that would happen.
All right. While we're
Then
waiting,
I'm just grasping for uselessly.
party members, do we want to come up with terms? If we do give them the aspect, what do we want in return?
We obviously get
I
all
guess
of
the real-
Drew's resources.
Well, right. And the real question is, am I making a bigger deal out of this than I ought to?
Yes.
Well,
Frequent
we
with you,
have-
so
we have something they want, and so maybe
Oh, I have
You
no
have
problem with
something
saying-
I want.
Right,
Oh,
I have no problem with
literally
dangling
this-
it in front of them and saying,
That?
you need
Dandelion.
this, so you better help us or you're not getting it.
I don't think that's a very unfair thing to say. Because she literally just said, we're not going to help you until you prove yourselves to be competent. So let's match that energy.
Right, when we
Second
literally we have fought Valdara, we have saved the king, we're the only reason
think-
that things weren't worse. And
I think it's a good point that if we lose one of these, it is game over. Like, maybe we don't play with that fire and we do put it in the safe spot until we gear up and go out.
Okay.
Maybe.
I really don't like.
We don't know who this Liliana person is. She could be deep cover for Valdara.
She used to be my boss. Calm
And what?
down.
And what?
Head of the church, cleric of the church.
I say we secretly, if we give it up, we secretly give it to Lisa. We don't ask for anything, so that way she can keep it hidden. Because we know at least of all the people in the church, she was chosen by Ethios and most likely deemed
Well, she
clear in his
Grand
eyes.
Heralds. She was chosen by Liliana and Dimitri.
And then,
two people that-
ordained by. Hold on, but she was ordained by Ethios because he turned her into a level 20 cleric.
I suppose that's fair.
So unless Ethios is also part of this bureaucracy, which I doubt.
It's called the
I will
Celestial
add-
Bureaucracy.
I will add that the speaker, their role is that they speak directly to him. It's in the name.
Yep, you're right.
Why don't we ask Lisa to speak to Ethios for us then?
And ask
Maybe that's
him
why I'm thinking right now, trying to determine what I should say to you.
We should have Ethios speak to us through her. That'd be hella cool.
I gotta say, I really don't like that
Azaman
her.
to talk to me. Calm down.
I really don't like that her response was, "Well, if you don't give it to us," like it was a bit too. Either give us what we want or fuck you.
Basically,
Or
or I'll make your life
My
hell.
taste.
That being said, though,
Also,
I doubt as the second in command in the church, she's told no a lot. So
Well, she needs to grow the fuck up.
there's a first time for everything, and Sylvia
Exactly.
will go there.
You guys very clearly don't have anxiety or fear of authority figures, and I'm
Oh,
impressed.
I 100% have anxiety, but we're in make-believe fun land, so anything is fine with me.
I think my
Also, I
anxiety
call
is
it a
too
mix.
innate to be.
It's a mix of Sylvia being nobility and also older than most of the people we're running into. So she's like, "You don't have any perspective."
How do we feel about secretly giving it to Lisa?
I would prefer that
Or
over
at
giving
least
it
handing
to.
it to her and
Liliana.
not the Liliana.
Right?
I
Because
want-
I mean,
I don't want Liliana to assassinate / manipulate her.
I am ready to jump in now. So are you guys good?
Yes.
Are we ever?
Okay, cool.
Oh,
So,
wait,
Taylor needs to calm down.
since we have somebody
She
with
looks over at you, Sylvia, and she says, in any circumstance, it is imperative that we have that now. And she holds out her staff, and previously it just was a normal like white oak looking staff, nothing too impressive. However, now it is has this like bluish kind of like energy kind of within the wood itself and is kind of surrounding it slightly. And she continues and says, once I have it, I can imbue it into the staff. From that point forward, it becomes more powerful, and so do I.
Ooh.
Which allows me to cast the Rites of Binding. Now, there is a lot going on right now. And as your friend, want to say something that I think they figured it out.
We are friends.
As a friend, this is not a moment to push. As things could change very easily.
I am willing to give you, Lisa, the aspect. What I am continually displeased by is the attitude of the church. We are trying to do a service for the church. We also care that Valdara is going to wreak havoc on the entire world. However, if you could act a little less entitled and actually try to help us, put us up in Titania, give us resources, we will give you the aspect. Meet us halfway.
Gorfrak just is behind Sylvia and goes,
Don't act entitled, Sylvia.
Liliana.
Hey, Sylvia puts her money where her mouth is.
Liliana speaks up.
Can I have my 22 Arcana question?
What would you like to ask?
Can I infer that because her staff is now glowing blue, that she has the aspect of wisdom in her staff?
And that's why she's acting more confident because she's wiser?
That makes sense.
I'm gonna nudge Sylvia. I'm gonna nudge Sylvia and point at the staff. I'm gonna hope Sylvia is smart enough to pick up on that.
Yeah.
Was I right?
So Liliana butts in and says, well, we hire so many different adventurers, and they all proceed to ask about the same thing. We can't support all of them. But if they're able to show that they can actually do something...
Listen, did all of them fight for Daria? Did all of them save the king? Did all of them have as much success in the tournament facing all kinds of people as we did? I don't think so. Give us a little bit of respect. I recognize that we have not been as well known until now, but give us the respect that we are due.
I'm sorry.
Roll insight.
Let having very little...
And roll persuasion for yourself as well. So do both of those.
We're burning the twig bridge we had with these people.
This is not my choice.
We'll see how this insight is, and I can tell you how much it was previously burned or not.
Piper!
Can I give Sylvia advantage since I've also been on a tirade?
Did you say roll persuasion?
And insight. She'll have to roll this individually for herself.
We're so
this time around.
Screwed. But was I right?
I don't know.
I was right.
Won't answer you usually.
And you guys are killing it with insight today. Okay, yeah, your persuasion, you're not convincing at all on this matter. But with the insight...
Have I used both lucky points? I can't remember.
No.
You used like one or two.
I know I used one for sure.
You have one lucky point, you have one div roll left, but I don't remember what it was. I think it was high.
No, I used the third. I can't remember if it was the 13 or not.
I will say that I think even if you did replace it, you wouldn't succeed here.
How high did I have to roll?
You needed a 20.
Okay.
Well, a 20 as in not natural. You had to get up to that number. And a 13.
I said I would give her the aspect. We just need some support here.
Yeah, and that's what she's saying. She will give you support if you provide her the aspect. That's what they're looking for.
Emotions are interfering with communication.
But I will say with insight, the way that, because she does seem a little bit hard on you. You have picked up on that, and you can kind of deduce from the way she's acting and the way things are going on is that from what your actions within Lux, this is a specific repercussion of it, is that you supported the king mostly during it. So he adores you guys. The church did not, for one, go into that direction in that district and help them out at all. When you were leaving, you went to the library instead.
Wow, I'm so sorry that we were concerned about the king, especially considering my sister was also at the castle.
Well, specifically in the routes that you went, there could have been ways that would have significantly boosted your influence with them. As such that they're not as supportive of you.
You also lost like your cleric. Probably didn't help.
Yeah. There is a bit of that.
Fault. Sorry.
And canonically, she is very good friends with Dimitri. That's a big thing. So there is a bit of that in this negotiation process. But to wrap it all in there, for the simple aspect, if you do give them the aspect, basically they open up resources to you. And the rewards related to the church, they'll give you related rewards and things.
Okay.
If you decide not to, then we don't know what's going to happen here. So,
I mean, Lisa's statement definitely convinced Sylvia. She just wanted to make it very clear to Liliana where Liliana stands in the party's eyes, and that she's being a little over the top.
Of course.
Don't
Liliana is not talking to just.
This is you. You're the one talking.
Gorfrak, what would you like to say?
Also,
can I roll insight to activate party mom mode to try to mend this relationship?
You can roll. I don't know how well this is going to work for you.
Oh, Piper, you just give me so much. Holy crap!
You gave me so much what, Madison?
You give me so much.
You guys
anxiety.
are literally killing that. Only this specific stat today.
Every time Piper catches an attitude, be it D&D or real life, I'm sweating my ass off.
I just about crapped my pants.
Yeah.
So with that 27, you can definitely help mend some of it. There is a aspect of it that you are part of Gaia. And so there is a hesitation, at least with Liliana. Lisa doesn't seem to mind you at all. That just doesn't seem to how she is. But then again, she's also very keen on making sure she has the aspect in this scenario. You get everything that honestly that Sylvia learned from this as well. If anything, just a little bit more, and that like you're able to at least be somewhat neutral in it. And like I said, if you give them the aspect, they'll give you a bunch of rewards and access to things. Wherever that might be.
Gorfrak kind of, studies herself and says, I think we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. We're very much, at least I am, guns a-blazing, very direct. I think we were being very short with you because we were fighting hundreds and hundreds of dead people. Probably about an hour ago, I think timeline-wise, maybe 2. And so we're a little on edge still. We're here to support the church, and especially in terms of getting rid of Valdara. That's our number one goal because, we fully understand that regardless of who aligns himself with what, Valdara being in this plane is not a good thing. And so while we may not see eye to eye on some things, and I motion to the two groups, I do think that we are on the same team.
She nods.
I am willing to give Lisa the aspect. I expect the church's resources to follow, along with a little respect.
Of course.
Let's gonna lean over to Sylvia and go, you might want to check that attitude if you want to get any kind of resources, because I think that even though they might owe it to us, they kind of might think you're awful now.
Let goes from the socially unaware, socially unburdened child to the relationship
master of insight.
Let does have the ring that boosts insight.
So I think to just facilitate us moving along, because I think we've hit a block stop.
I will hand the aspect to Lisa specifically, not Liliana.
She takes it, and
I'm keeping the cloth. It's going back in the pocket, away from Koo.
I clock which
Carefully
pocket.
have a rogue in the party. She takes it and basically infuses it into the staff. The stone, which is kind of like a little fox-like trinket, kind of like turns alive and then like spins into it, and they now have 2 of the 6 specific aspects.
Ew.
To brush by some of the stuff here, you now have access to the resources, specifically anything within the Titania. In terms of like anything at church specifically owned, like anything in the cathedral, they'll help you the best they can. So basically that like whole thing up at the front where they're like, well, do you have an appointment? Well, that's just bypassed now. You can just, you act as if you are part of them now. You also gain a diamond in Revivify. So it's a 300 worth diamond.
It's only 300? That's not that bad.
300 gold diamond, but you can't really buy them.
You're rich, aren't you? Say something more
We
entitled,
all have...
Leah, please.
Hashtag
no,
first
we all have a lot of money now because of the game.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is one of the resources that you can't just buy in a store. The other one you found was in a dungeon. So you have to like find them and hopefully not have to use them.
Friends, I don't want to make assumptions, but I am the only one in the party who can cast Revivify. May I please have the diamond?
Of course.
Thank you. What kind of diamond is it, Nathaniel?
A 300. It allows you to cast Revivify. The Revivify diamond, if you want to call it.
Here, gemstone. Cool.
So you're given that. And that's kind of at least it for right now. I might provide some extra stuff. I think one thing that you did ask for is a sending stone. You are provided that. It won't be directly to either of them, but it will be like a relay in a way of like, you talk to one person, they can talk to the other heralds and so forth. They'll bring it to them.
Can I make another request for them to decide?
Yes.
Can we have a couple scrolls of teleportation?
That would be lovely.
That is a high level spell.
That is not happening.
That is not within the resource section of you need to get a little bit farther in your influence with them. As it is like a level 7 spell. And none of you can cast that.
It's not
okay.
Nope, not happening.
Okay.
However, should you gain access to the teleportation circle of the spell, you do have access to their portals. So there are a few locations that they haven't owned that you can use through that. So
teleportation, who needs that? It was just dimension door.
So that's kind of what is going to be provided for now. I might provide some stuff in the near future, maybe some items and things, but currently, for now, that's what you will obtain. Is there anything that you would like to do within specifically the church grounds of this Acropolis Cathedral area?
I have one last thing I want to. I don't know if you would make me roll for this. Would Gorfrak know if Lisa has the spell scrying?
You wouldn't know. Maybe roll religion. This is like Fern probably would know this. Well, actually, maybe not. Actually, but
maybe not Fern.
Maybe not. But with the 11, she's supposed to be the most powerful cleric and entity of the church. So probably.
Okay, I give her like a little trinket, like a little flower. Like I use druid craft to sprout a flower, and I give it to her, and I say, if you ever need to check in on us, I think you'll know what to do with this.
Thank you. That certainly will be useful.
I want to take the blinding cloth while Sylvia's distracted.
When
you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, okay?
Well, as stated, you can't buy blind cloth in the city, so this goes poorly here. So do roll stealth and sleight of hand.
Yeah, but stealing is way funner. Oh, that's a crit fail for a total of 10. But
Yeah, that wasn't directed towards you. It was more directed to the party who will eventually lose this blinding cloth. Yeah, roll perception. Sylvia.
What do you mean we will eventually lose this blinding claw?
Take it from us.
Because who has a +9? The So we'll see how this goes here.
Maybe Sylvia needs to put a glyph on the bag of holding.
Or something.
Listen, very rarely is there something that Ku wants so badly as a magic cloth. Those are the two things. Magic and cloth.
Still waiting on perception.
Who?
Sylvia.
Oh, so sorry. My passive perception?
No, just normal, like you rolling for perception.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh my god!
they failed too! Yeah!
Okay. So
Yeah!
you definitely able to get up to her, but I will say with your even with the 10, the passive does beat it. So she will catch you in the process of trying to take it, and if anything, it's more of you just can't get your talons around what you're looking for, right? And that's what catches her off guard, and so I'm assuming she stops you.
Yeah, picture hey, and maybe like a bap on the head because it's like a small creature. Leave that alone. We need that.
One.
Len's gonna walk over and like slightly bap Sylvia on the forehead and go, "You be nice. You be nice."
She startled me and she's trying to steal the blinding cloth.
She's fine. She's little, and you've been big and mean all afternoon.
Little.
Gorfrak has been way more mean than I have.
Orfrak is medium and mean though, so
Both very mean. Very mean.
Oh.
I'm at a place I don't want to be with people I don't like. What do you expect? And my nose
Three taps with kindness.
left. So
okay, I would like to go. I don't want to take control of the end of our session, but I would like to go to the healing center, Pokemon Center for
Probably
Travelers.
would. We should probably.
I'm assuming you want to do this for your memory issue.
Yeah. I also kind of want to find out why I'm bleeding every day on the nose.
Okay, a little bit both there. Okay.
Well, when a woman reaches a certain
We're just gonna move by this because we only
Just
have
a
so much
reminder.
time.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
This is a reminder that this content is not suitable for children. This is definitely for adults.
Madison UN joke of the week.
Yes.
Again, we're gonna keep
you
moving
so much
here.
about
We're gonna
not
keep
needing
moving,
food
bypassing
anymore.
it. We'll get bypass all the children jokes out of the way here. Okay. So we're gonna put a pin in your specific thing, Taylor, because that's gonna take up some time.
Yay!
Now,
To know information.
is there anything else
Would
anyone
the
wants to do
church-
before we jump onto that?
Would the church have more information about aspects and locations?
Specifically with them, they don't. Honestly, they are
Okay.
just as lost. You guys are, honestly have been the only effective group so far.
Of course.
Are we going to have unrestricted access to most of the church's records at this point?
So they will give you access to the records, but not like forbidden stuff. Think of it like you can access their libraries, but you need like still some permission to move forward with things.
Okay.
Was there any
would
specific
like-
knowledge of that you wanted?
Gods, saints, sages, and or demons who take the form of dragons.
There's only one that does, I believe. Let me check. So
Use Ambaldara?
correct. The only other people who are not a typical humanoid, the Saint of Nature is a white doe. The Saint of Light is a golden phoenix.
Is Gaia also a dragon?
Huh?
Is Gaia also a dragon?
We don't know. She has not been visibly seen for like several thousand years.
You should look up information about Ogmarez.
Of the triumvirate, there are 3 of the Abyss, because it's a triumvirate. And Valdara is the head of it. There is Orgrimmaz, the Face Taker and Shape Stealer. Morgold, Lord of Darkness. And Tiamat.
What was that one? That one was
Morgold.
What was that name?
Morgold. Lord of Darkness.
And Tiamat?
That sounds like a frog underwater.
Yeah, that's the only like D&D thing I took.
Can we get like?
Bitch.
Can we get like, we know that Daddario was a big general. I know they were all generals. I don't know what I'm trying to ask. People, help me. Questions about the triumvirate we want to know more about.
Any info about the shapeshifter Orgrimmaz?
What about him?
Yeah.
You look at him, he takes your face, he steals forms, like, just an overall bad dude. Honestly, not a lot on him. I mean, he's supposed to be imprisoned on the Abyssal Plane.
Supposed to be.
Valdara imprisoned him on the Abyssal Plane?
It's debated. So there are records that say that she rules over the Abyssal Plane, but it's debated whether or not he's imprisoned there, like trapped, and she's because of it, or he's just naturally trapped there because that's how it's always been.
I don't want to change the question topic by another one pop into my head unless there's other questions about the triumvirate. I would like to look up specifically prophecies about new gods or children of gods.
There are none.
Okay.
Of course.
Is there anything
The only time that gods are declared are through the Rites of Ascension.
Okay. Is the document where we find this a whole text, or is this one with like pages ripped out that they don't want to talk about how abyssal gods come into power and things like that?
It is whole texts. But you get the feeling that like it's just like a small section.
Okay.
So you get the feeling that this is probably like under lock and key. Like, even though they trust you, it's kind of like, oh, did they just like hand 2 of them over so they have full access sort of thing? Like, there is that type of like protection level.
Does the church have anything on dunamancy?
I would assume not. Yeah.
None at all.
Just throwing hooks.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to check, but it seems like Cirrus is literally the only person that knows about anything about dunamancy.
Yeah, but there's a connection here with Lionrith, dunamancy, and the church.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe there would be more under their like secret files or something. I don't know. They're heavily guarded.
So I think we're on the right track.
I'm surprised that you missed the clues and hints I've given now. So
about what? What did I miss?
You missed something. I don't know what to tell you.
Can you give us a side of a barn to keep missing?
No, I can't, because I gave you a side of a barn.
We saw
twice.
The statue of Ethios. That feels important.
I don't know, but do you have any questions that?
So Ethios takes the form of a dragon. Ethios takes the form of a dragon. So we can
wait.
Can we infer
Lionrith to the statue?
Oh.
What if he's a child of Ethios and Valdara, which seems weird, but
we've already established that that's probably likely. That is in my notes.
I mean, but now we're kind of confirming it. Can we go look at the statue of Ethios and see if there's a family resemblance?
We'll put a pin in that for next time.
Okay.
Wait, what type of dragon?
So he resembles more of like the metallic variety.
And what is Baldara?
She kind of represents kind of like a more chromatic in a way, at least in design. They're not like straight like this is like he's a gold dragon, for example, or she's a red one. It's more of like just similar in design.
Gotcha.
That would explain why Lioness.
Can it square our way through this issue?
Yep.
I am really upset that we've apparently missed something.
Me too. I am deeply upset. I take such good notes, and yet I've missed something.
So wait.
Help you guys, but I resemble Let far too much.
So wait, going back to the Triumvirate, we've got Didaria, we've got Ogmarez, and we've got
we have
Lord of
Ogmarez,
Darkness.
Morgul, and Tiamat. Didaria isn't a part of that. She must be a subordinate of a subordinate.
Yeah, Jadaria is not involved in the Triumvirate.
Okay, thank you.
She was a general in the Creation War on Vidara's side, but that's she's not part of the Triumvirate.
Gotcha.
We need it. Okay, so Ogmarez is apparently or supposedly imprisoned, but we think that that's not true. Should we ask questions about? Tell us about Morgul. Does he live on the material plane? Does he live abyss?
So, like all of them are on the abyssal plane. Okay. They are said to be imprisoned there and that they cannot leave. The Morgul is he's your shadow guy. He is like there isn't a lot on him. He hasn't really done much. Like, he was a bad dude that got involved in trying to blot out the sun and, like, infinite darkness, basically. Again, like, he's just the typical, like, I'm the really evil guy. He had different artifacts and such, and people locked him up. Same thing like everyone else. They all had artifacts relating towards them, and... yeah, just pure evil villains.
What did we miss? I'm gonna lose sleep over this.
Man, I really think that we should tell the church about Lionrith being a new god.
I don't.
It almost seems like their line of work.
I think we're gonna have I think it's fine we didn't tell them today. I think we'll have an opportunity to tell them literally next session or the next couple days while we're in Titania.
Also, not to be the conspiracy theorist, there's a speaker who speaks directly to Lionrith's father, who now
if that's his father,
now has the two most powerful artifacts for both wisdom and intelligence. So she can probably put two and two together at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe she was trying to hint that towards you already.
And that's what we missed. Wait,
we'll end that for today, Captain. And we're going to conclude.
Your audio cut out, but you look intense.
Yeah.
I said, is it because she said as your friend? I don't know. Am I trying to think of any little detail that we missed?
I don't know. But
listen,
yeah,
this is recorded. We can go back and watch it.
I have a crazy theory.
They can watch it on Twitch.
You have a crazy theory, Taylor?
It's too crazy. It's not even formable. Are we still on stream?
Then tell later.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
So Rose, we're good to go for today.
Okay, bye.
Girls and everybody else, thanks for viewing. We will not be back next week. We will be posting a lore video that you're more than welcome to view. And we'll be back the week after that.
Goodbye, everyone.